how do you move out of a functional freeze state, especially while in conflict with someone? So just as a bit of a refresher here, your functional freeze state is a blended state within the nervous system. It's probably one of the most common nervous system physiological states that we see in the Body First Healing program and that we work with and resolve. It is a blended state where part of the nervous system is in a functioning state, usually of flight. When we're in a flight response, we are on the go. We are on the run. And usually we are fueled with adrenaline and cortisol to keep us distracted, to keep us going, to keep us busy. We're essentially muscling through life. However, on the other end of that, there's another part of the nervous system that's also stuck down in a bit of this freeze response, or what we call shutdown or dorsal. So think of your functional freeze response as going through the motions, but without emotion. Because when we're in this dorsal state, there are higher levels of numbing hormones. There are parts of the body that can dissociate. There can often be affect collapse, which means that there's not a lot of emotion really present. And what can be really confusing to the outside world is that we can often glamorize this state as being the strong, resilient, going with the flow, #unbothered kind of individual. However, if you've listened to previous episodes, if you've done this work on your own, if you've read my book, if you've been in the program, you know that being an embodied human means that we are supposed to have emotions. And that the measure of our day shouldn't be by how good we feel or how calm we feel, but how good we were at feeling. So I first just want to validate that I love that you have an awareness that even during conflict, this functional freeze state is maybe not the most optimal state for rupture and repair. Rupture and repair is just another way of saying being disconnected with someone and then coming back together in resolution. So if there is a blend of functional freeze showing up in a moment of conflict with someone, that likely means that there are two parts of you really on board this ship. And the mission of both of these parts is really to escape. There's one part of you that wants to escape through shutting down, through going numb, through retreating into the turtle shell. And then there's another part of you that wants to escape by running away, by avoiding conflict entirely. So the first order of business when we're working with functional freeze is we want to work at the pace of the slowest part of us, which means that we really want to tend to the parts of us that want to shut down and numb. And why is this important? Well, we don't want to rush into repair work or resolution if there are parts of us that actually don't feel present. Because what that means is that you are overriding the body. And what can typically come from finding resolution in a moment of numbness can be fawning, where we placate, we pacify, we do all of these things to keep the peace. And so I see on a consistent basis that those of us who get really trapped into that functional freeze, muscling through, armoring up state, are also the same people who tend to respond with a fawn response during moments of conflict. They shut down their boundaries, they dissociate and disconnect from their wants and needs, and they might not even know what their boundaries and wants and needs are. And then as a way to avoid or escape the conflict, they apologize, they take blame, and they quickly move on. And although there might be a temporary moment of reprieve, it is not going to bring lasting resolution. In other words, this is not repair work. This is just a Band-Aid strategy. And the deepest and most meaningful relationships come when we can meet each other in our authentic boundaries, in our authentic wants, when we can meet each other in conflict with attunement, with compassion and connectedness. I mean, I just want you to think back for a moment about some of the biggest arguments that you've had with people that you love. Moments that you dared to set boundaries, to advocate for yourself, and where it eventually was met and understood. Whether it was a friendship or a family member or even a partner. If you think about those moments of repair, did you not come back together feeling stronger, feeling like, wow, this is someone that I know will meet me in discomfort, that will meet me in conflict, and I can trust that we can work through it. So again, if the intention is for lasting repair, then what we want to do is work with the slowest part of us. And in doing that, the first intention has to be to get present. Now you can begin by noticing the numbing, noticing how collapse or noticing how shutdown is showing up in real time. Perhaps you feel like you're leaving your body. Perhaps you feel like there are certain parts of the body that just feel offline or not present. And I just want to state here too that numbness is a feeling, right? We feel numb. So where are the parts of you that feel non-existent? The parts of you that feel spacey, nothingness, numbness. And then what you'll do next is you'll start to orient outside of yourself. Okay, take your awareness outside of the body and just orient your eyes. You want to do this through small movements. So just gently allowing the eyes to shift to the left and to the right, up and down. And what this does is it breaks up the stillness, the collapse, and the rigidity of the system. You can also see if there's any gentle movement that wants to take place in the body itself, like maybe opening up the shoulders, lifting the chin, turning left or right, stretching. And then after you've done a little bit of the micro movements and the micro orienting, then you can start to track, is there a place in my body that does feel present? And if you can't find an internal place, then perhaps can you notice externally through kinesthetic orienting a place in the body that feels present? Like the waistband of your shorts or the chair that you're sitting on or the firmness of the back of the seat. Now, these are things that you can either do in real time, or these are things that you can step away and do on your own. I find that a pause is sometimes necessary when working through rupture and repair as a way to really self-regulate your own system so that you can come back into the conversation with more capacity.